Hello everyone, I'm Jasmine and today we're going to be reading The Scariest Story You've Ever Heard, written by Ron Keres and illustrated by Arthur Lin. In this story we have two brothers who investigate some very strange noises happening in their house. I wonder, what kind of spooky noises do you think they might hear? And what do you think those spooky noises are? Who do you think they belong to? Let's get reading and find out. The Scariest Story You've Ever Heard, written by Ron Keres and illustrated by Arthur Lin. Get ready for the scariest story you've ever heard. It's much too scary for pictures, so I plan to use words. One dreary day in a house just like yours, thunder was booming and rain did it pour. It was minutes till midnight when the power went out. The boys, they woke up with a scream and a shout, lying in bed and certainly scared for what happened next. They were not prepared. First there was a creak. Then there was a crack. What could it be, and would it attack? Their tiny hearts began to rapidly pump, but it only became worse when they heard thump, thump. They cowered in fear and hid under their covers. The monster approaching could easily eat brothers. Grrr was the next sound that he made, but the boys were confused as it started to fade. Even though the intruder went further away, this would not be the end of his haunting that day. He began to cling as he was stomping around. The boys heard a bang as something fell to the ground. Ah! He yelled. This could not be good, for now the boys knew. In the kitchen he stood. What was he looking for? Why was he furious? As scared as they were also quite curious. Against better judgment, they got out of their beds. They stood at the door, blankets over their heads. First, they heard, followed by crunch, crunch, crunch. The dog whimpered and barked. Did he get eaten for lunch? Then, for a moment, things were eerily silent. If they opened the door, would the beast become violent? The silence was broken by drip, drop, drip, drop. Was this just a nightmare? And when would it stop? The boys had enough. They knew hiding didn't matter. As they left their dark room, there was a shriek and a splatter. They crept down the hall, preparing for doom, but were shocked and surprised as they entered the room. There he was, a spoon in his hand. This was not a horrible monster, but a familiar man. "Dad!" they cried. "What on earth are you doing?" Dad couldn't respond as he was fervently chewing. Their fear turned to laughter with the words that would follow. Dad took a drink and proceeded to swallow. I'm sorry I scared you. Things are not what they seem. It was all for a bowl of delicious ice cream. The end.
Thanks for reading the scariest story you've ever heard with me. I'll see you next time. Bye.